I'm in the kitchen working on my chicken tetrazzini and realize, oh no, sis, you have to do your live for today before the day is over. So, all right, I made it. It's 11:53 where I live and Central Time. And I wanted to share a story. This is the story I wanted to share yesterday that I didn't think I would get time to tell. And we could probably talk about it deeper another day. So, the story goes like this. Yesterday, I told you guys it was my son's ninth birthday. So my little boy turned 9 yesterday, so we took him to Sky Zone, one of his favorite places to go. And normally when we're at Sky Zone, I'm not a hover mom, so they just in there living their best life, and I'm sitting there talking to the other moms. Yeah, so I was doing what I do, and they were doing what they do. And so my son comes over, and he says, "Hey, mom, there's this kid." He's like, "There's this kid who's like following me around, and he's playing with me real aggressively." He said we played dodgeball, and he hit me in the face with the ball. And he's like, "I don't want to play with him, but everywhere I go, he keeps following me." And so, he's over in the little like spongy area where I'm sitting, just minding his business. And I see the kid. He told me who the kid was, but the kid was on the other side of the place. So I see the kid kind of creeping around the corner. And he's got a ball, and he looked like he looking for Aiden. And I'm just like, yeah, what we're not gonna do is this. So I pulled a young man to the side and I said, "Hey," I said, "do you see that little kid right there?" I'm like, "That's my son." And he says that you guys were playing dodgeball and you were playing pretty aggressively and you hit him in the face with the dodgeball. And now he's uncomfortable playing with you. And the kid, in the most mature fashion, he says, look, the little boy looked like he could have been all about 12. He looked like he was older than Aiden, so he was 12. And he said, you know, um, I apologize. I might have been a little aggressive. He said, but we were playing dodgeball. And the way with which he kind of said, like, "Hey, what do you expect, lady? All's fair in being 12 in dodgeball," you know? And so I didn't have much of a response to say to him. I said, "Well, the thing is this now." I said, "So tell me, what is it that you're trying to do? Because I see you coming over here, but he's very uncomfortable playing with you." I said, "Now, if you want to play with him, we can probably talk it through and see how he feels about it. But as it stands at this moment, he's uncomfortable. So what is it that you want to do? Do you want to play with him or what do you want to do?" So the kid's like, "Hey, I'm good." So it was the most interesting yet bizarre conversation that I've ever had with a 12-year-old in my life. I'm making up that he's 12 because he looked 12. But and the Sky Zone worker is sitting there the whole time looking like, my daughter said, he's like, "What did I miss? I'm about to lose my job because something has jumped off." And so he says, so anyway, the kid goes about his business. And so a couple of things that I learned from just that encounter with the young man was this, that a lot of times, a lot of the reason why we're not able to see things from someone else's perspective is because we just don't talk about it. And when we talk about it, it's not necessarily in a calm way. We return aggression with aggression. So, I mean, I think it was easier for me to do because I'm an adult and he was a child. But I think a lot of times that's where we get confused. So I learned a lot from that young man. And then what I learned is, his definition of dodgeball apparently is, "Hey, anything goes." And he's like, he literally was like, "I don't understand what the problem is." It could have been aggressive, but it's dodgeball. Almost like dodgeball is aggressive, is the way he told me. And in his world, maybe it is. And so I was able to explain to him it could be dodgeball, but now there's potentially someone you want to play with who doesn't want to play with you. And so you've got to learn to play like people want to play with you. And so, long story short, the kid, Aiden tells me before we leave, he says, the kid comes over and he says, "Hey, I want to apologize for hitting you in the face with a dodgeball. I'm sorry." And they played, you know, like kids should. And so I learned a lot from those two little guys yesterday that a lot of times as adults, we could solve a lot of issues and a lot of problems by just seeing the other person's side, being willing to have calm communication, not quickly return aggression with aggression, and by being willing to apologize when we make mistakes. And so that's my story for the night. Like, there's always more than one side of the story, and you only know the side that you see. So to Aiden, it looked like, because Aiden, I don't allow him to play that rough. Like, you don't hit anybody in the face with a ball, and you definitely don't let anybody hit you in the face with a ball. So to Aiden, it's like, hey, something is very aggressive here. And to the other young man, it's like, that's how you play dodgeball, you know? And on one hand, you could think like, well, he should know better. Well, how do I know that? How do I know that? Maybe where his experience with dodgeball has been anything goes. You hit people in the face, you win the game, whatever it takes, you know? But through communication, I think we were able to work it out and they were able to get past whatever the issue is. So that's my bit of an encouragement for us adults as we go into this season where we'll be out. You know, I was in the store today and oof, it was just a madhouse. I had no intention of being there today, but I was. And it was a madhouse. And, so there's lots of opportunities for people to misinterpret the actions and behaviors of others and assume that people will behave like you. And I just would encourage you to avoid returning aggression with aggression. Just because you experience somebody being aggressive, you don't have to return the same energy. You can decide, how you want to respond, and you can be calm about it and still be open to what the other person's perspective is, even though you know how you feel about it. All right, the clock has struck 12, guys. My tetrazzini is in the oven. I made a little test batch because I wasn't sure about the first batch I made, and I don't want to put that out until I see what's with it. So I made a little test batch. I'm waiting on that little test batch to come out to see if I have to remix my other one. So yeah, I just wanted to share it with you guys. I think I'm gonna call it a night. I wanted to get my mac and cheese and my cranberry sauce done tonight, but it's looking like a no for me to hug. All right, you guys have a great evening.